Albert Speer, Hitler's architect, Hitler's friend, Hitler's minister, drives out of jail like a star. Speer can hardly believe it. He has aged so and feels so worn after 20 years in jail. The Allies have kept refusing any reduction in his sentence, as they have done too for Hess, sentenced to life. But obviously some Germans are still happy to see Speer again.
I can tell you that I'm quite glad to be outside here. Dankeschön. Danke Ihnen auch.
This is the generation of those who disown nothing and regret the whole past. To them, Speer embodies all of the great triumphs of the Third Reich. But Speer truly was a Nazi criminal. As the Minister of Armament, he made war and suffering an endless ordeal and brought death too. Speer has become a true living museum of Nazism. He publishes his memoirs. They become a world bestseller. He also becomes a guest star on every TV talk show. In fact, he will die 15 years later in London, just before a broadcast. He talks unflaggingly justifying himself.
Une des grandes fautes de ma vie, peut-être la plus grande faute, je savais que les Juifs étaient dans des camps de concentration, mais je pensais qu'ils travaillaient dans les camps de concentration. Mais je ne savais pas qu'ils sont, comme on disait, exterminés.
Et si vous aviez su, vraiment, si vous aviez vu, par exemple à Auschwitz, qu'est-ce que vous auriez pu faire?
Je n'aurais pu faire aucune chose que dire à Hitler que je ne veux plus être son ministre, et peut-être ça aurait été le résultat.
Est-ce qu'aujourd'hui vous avez finalement compris pourquoi et comment vous avez pu faire pour obéir à Hitler?
J'étais très ambitieux, que je voulais aussi avoir part de des pouvoirs de Hitler, et que avoir du pouvoir est une chose délicieuse.
In the end, Speer almost becomes likable. Nazism becomes a subject for historical research, a research unrelated to its monstrosity. It helps the rehabilitation of Nazis, who now become judges or even assembly representatives. One of them even attains the highest position, Chancellor of the German Federal Republic. He is Kurt Kiesinger, former member of the Nazi Party and senior official of Hitler's regime. This situation worries the Klarsfelds, who think of their kid's future, Arno. They are shocked to see Kiesinger received with all honors in France. The higher realms of politics consider this man cleared by the German courts of denazification. One generation wants to be forgotten, while the next one wants to know. Germany's youth takes action against Vietnam and against Kiesinger, whom the Klarsfelds denounce as one of the men in charge of Hitler's radio propaganda.
Donc avec tout ce que j'ai su sur le nazisme, je me suis dit, une Allemande qui vit à Paris et qui veut agir ne peut pas laisser faire.
Beate first writes press articles about the Chancellor's Nazi past. She is fired from the Franco-German Youth Office in Paris. But more is required, a spectacular deed. Beate goes to Berlin with a photographer to the Congress of the Chancellor's Christian Democrat Party. She steps behind the platform and vigorously slaps Kiesinger. The guards don't dare shoot to avoid wounding other people. They grasp and drag Beate away. Kiesinger's hurt eye is taken care of. Beate is jailed, judged, and sentenced to 1 year without remission. But Serge Klarsfeld is an excellent lawyer. Beate, French by marriage, is answerable to Berlin's French occupation authorities. An agreement is soon settled, and she is sent back to France while waiting for an appeal. Beate, strengthened by this success, joins Germany's election campaign of September '69. She runs against Kiesinger for a small left-wing party and is a sensation as she campaigns with her kid in her arms. Kiesinger jokes, "That Klarsfeld kid, if he gets at me, he'll bite me." But it's no joking matter. Beate's campaign and the movement she launches will help defeat him. He is replaced by Willy Brandt, a true resistance fighter against Hitler. Beate has prevailed, but Serge warns her, "You're now like an actress. You've no right to stop any longer. On her own head be it."
Gesetze, das ist demokratisch, Deutschlands Gesetze, ja?
Wenn die Mehrheit des Volkes dafür ist, dann ist es
Die Mehrheit des
Demokratie.
Volkes war für Hitler gewesen und das ist Demokratie.
Jawohl, das waren sie.
Das
Aber
war
warum?
Demokratie.
Je suis allemande, je suis fière d'être allemande, je suis une bonne allemande et une bonne patriote. Et je crois que justement, ce que j'ai avec mes actions, j'essaie de montrer aux Allemands les devoirs qu'ils ont à remplir. Car ça n'a pas d'importance si ces Allemands font partie de l'Allemagne de l'Ouest, de l'Allemagne de l'Est. Ça n'a pas d'importance non plus s'ils font partie d'un parti plus de droite ou de gauche ou du centre. C'est-à-dire ces devoirs sont propres à tous les Allemands. Et c'est le point important, c'est étant donné que nous sommes tous des héritiers de l'Allemagne et qu'il y a des hommes comme Goethe, Schiller, Beethoven, ce qui est merveilleux, mais qu'il y a aussi des hommes comme Hitler, Himmler, Eichmann, eh bien, il faut donc assumer ses responsabilités.
Neither Beate nor Serge will stop. Each trail leads to another. In the Kiesinger file, they have found the name of Ernst Achenbach, head of the political department at the German embassy in Paris during the war, and thus involved in deportations. He is now a member of Congress in Germany, and Berlin wants to have him named to the European Commission. Beate and members of the League Against Racism and Anti-Semitism occupy his chambers as a lawyer. Achenbach will not be sent to Brussels.
Nous voulons construire, Français et Allemands, l'Europe ensemble sur la base de notre entente élémentaire. Et j'ai l'impression que cette, je dirais, manie de la persécution qui se fait jour chez certains, pas chez la majorité des gens, ni chez vous, ni chez nous, n'est pas bonne pour ça. Je crois que, et c'est ma conviction morale, qu'après 30 ans, il y a lieu de faire une amnistie.
Neither amnesty nor prescription, say the Klarsfelds. They are now tracking the deportation bureaucrats in France, the SS chief Hagen and the Gestapo man Lischka. They now have Lischka's address in Köln. An easy one to find. He's in the phone book. The Klarsfelds decide to go to Köln with the cameraman. They are now in his neighborhood. Again, a quiet, easy-living Nazi who journeys every day on the 18 tramway to his job in a farm produce business. How can that be? This is the outcome of the Paris Protocol, signed after the war. Only France can try Germans who have committed crimes in France itself. They cannot be tried in Germany, and Western Germany's constitution forbids extraditing its citizens. Thus, these Nazi criminals are under safe cover in Germany. Lischka has been sentenced in France in his absence to prison for life. Here in Köln, he is out of danger, at least until the day when the Klarsfelds turn up in his life. Lischka was present when Heydrich, head of the Gestapo, came to Paris to meet Bousquet, vile head of Vichy's police, to prepare the infamous Veldiv roundup, when 13,000 men, women, and children were penned in before being exterminated at Auschwitz. The Klarsfeld's aim is to fight that kind of impunity and, through Lischka, to have that protocol changed. Serge Klarsfeld's idea is not to hurt him, but to kidnap him and take him to France to have him jailed. But that would take the Mossad's means. His plan cannot be carried out. Thus, the media must be notified so as to create an untenable situation for German society and force it to face former deportees.
Lischka, murder! Oui, murder, oui. Und non, monsieur. L'initiateur de la solution finale en France des Juifs en France. Non, monsieur, ne frappez pas un déporté.
The case is referred to the German courts, and foreign television networks, such as the BBC, come at once.
Fürchten Sie sich überhaupt, Herr Lischka? Nein. Warum halten Sie Ihre Hand so, wenn Sie sich nicht fürchten?
Weil ohne meinen Willen nicht gefilmt werden darf.
Herr Lischka, man sagt, dass Sie viele tausende Juden umgebracht haben. Fühlen Sie sich überhaupt nicht schuldig?
Das stimmt nicht.
Das stimmt.
Beate and Serge have a mission, and they will carry it out to its end. They also flush out the SS Herbert Hagen on his way to work as a sales manager. A stirring moment as they face the head of the Gestapo's torturers. When Paris was liberated, the interior French forces and a group of insurgent policemen discovered the basements of the Gestapo. Here, their hostages, the army of the shadows, all those resistance men they killed, had left the imprint of their hands on the walls before collapsing under the German machine gun bullets. "Leave me alone," says Hagen. Beate tackles him again. "You are the one who was in France in '42. I was a soldier. I did my duty," says Hagen. "Weren't you in charge of roundups and executions?" asks Serge. "I wish to lead a quiet life," answers Hagen. "How can you lead a quiet life after all the things you've done?" Interrupted by his wife and daughters, Hagen manages to slip away. Interviewed by the BBC, Hagen asks to be filmed in profile, to be less recognizable. He justifies himself too, under pretense of the early Nazi approach.
Ich fühle mich in keiner Weise dafür verantwortlich. Ich bin ausgegangen von meiner alten Überzeugung, die ja auch bestätigt worden ist vor dem Kriege, dass man eintritt für die Bildung eines jüdischen Staates. Ich bin davon ausgegangen, dass alle Maßnahmen eigentlich immer nur dann eben während des Krieges indirekt in dieser Richtung weitergehen konnten.
But the Jewish homeland was Palestine, not Auschwitz in Poland.
Deshalb sagte ich ja auch indirekt, zu diesem Zeitpunkt waren Auswanderungen nach Palästina ja nicht möglich. Ich konnte also nur davon ausgehen, und das ist meine Auffassung gewesen, dass dort die jüdischen Menschen zusammengefasst werden und dann nach einem Kriege doch alle in einer internationalen Regelung so weit wie möglich dann in den jüdischen Staat gebracht zu werden.
French Jews were rounded up in the ghastly Drancy camp near Paris. There, one of the most savage guards was the SS Ernst Heinrichson. 30 years later, Heinrichson is the honorable mayor of Bergstadt, a small town in Bavaria. Questioned too by the BBC, he reveals his total lack of humanity.
Das sind Leute mit 80 Jahre alt, haben Sie das geschickt.
Das kann sein, das kann sein.
Wie können Frauen mit 80 Jahren alt arbeiten?
Weiß ich nicht. Aber Sie müssen mir zugestehen, dass ich mir nicht jeden Tag den Kopf darüber zerbrochen habe, was geschieht oder was nicht geschieht.
Warum nicht?
Weil ich keine Aufgabe dazu hatte.
His town people support him, though.
Klarsfeld, der Ankläger gegen unseren Bürgermeister, der ist überhaupt nicht in der Lage, diese Sache genau zu wissen. Und warum rüßt er immer rum, macht den Mann seelisch und moralisch fertig. Er ist überhaupt nicht in der Lage, das zu wissen. Nur auf Argumente oder irgendwie nach schriftlicher Unterlage her.
Serge Klarsfeld and his Association of Children of Jewish Deportees of France invade Cologne law courts. This new trial in Germany is a victory after a 10-year relentless fight against the Paris Protocol. Klarsfeld has collected every Nazi document and signed order, all of them irrefutable proof. Lischka, sentenced to 10 years. Hagen, to 12 years. Heinrichson, to only 6 years. Without the Klarsfelds, the three could have ended their lives peaceably. Outside the court is a crowd unable to enter inside, the children of deported people and even their grandchildren.
Je crois que ça doit être quand même un procès exemplaire parce que ce sont un des plus hauts responsables du nazisme en France et ils ont été ce qu'on peut appeler vraiment cruels et immondes.
Je m'appelle Lida Klarsfeld et j'ai 12 ans.
Quel est le métier de tes parents?
Ils recherchent les nazis.
Tracking Nazis down can be dangerous. 2 murder attempts almost killed the Klarsfelds. In 72, a mail bomb, and in 79, a bomb set up in their car. The criminals are still around. The Klarsfelds are neither impressed nor deterred by the many snags of militant life. Their mission is an exalting one. Beate has said,
Pour beaucoup de monde, Serge et moi représentions surtout une promesse, celle d'un couple franco-allemand, de surcroît juifs et non-juifs, qui s'engageait pour une cause, une petite équipe, sans moyens financiers et sans aide, mais qui faisait changer les choses.